members, and I pass to Daryl. Welcome. I pass to Ron, Slayer, and also Joe with McMillin. Joe's there. We already had a chance to look at that. This is just a draft letter that we are proposing to forward to the board to have them review, and then if they feel that it's worth sending to Mayor Faulkner and copying staff and city attorney and everybody else, that's when the letter will be forwarded. So to me, it's just, does anybody have any comments about the letter? Does anybody have any objections to the letter? Does anybody feel that it's kind of been vetted through us?
Bruce Kids had a support letter, didn't he?
What's that?
Bruce Kids.
Yeah, we did get a kind of a premature support letter from Save Our Heritage organization on our draft letter, so it's kind of odd. But yes, he is supporting it as well, and that's what I have there.
Mark, I've got a comment.
Yes, Joe.
I sent you an email. My name's Joe Heisler with McMillin, and we own the building. And sent you an email on April 13th that kind of just gives you a little snapshot of some ideas to consider. That we're going to follow the precise plan. We're going to follow guidelines of historic preservation for the building, and fully intend to do that. So that's going right down the fairway of what's allowed for the building. There's been a lot of mistruths been sent out about what's happening. We don't have a permit yet. We're not asking for a permit, and we are planning to follow the guidelines and the precise plan. Gave an example from the National Park Service, which is the overseer of historic preservation throughout the country, and it's really what the folks at the city follow as well. And there's an example of a church renovation on how not to and how to do proper applications for historic preservation. So that's an example there. And then I'll just also submit that the letter that you have written says that you talk about the historic use, and almost every building that we've renovated at Liberty Station has changed from the historic use, much like Quebec Diner was the officers club. The Ace Hardware building, or where Compagnie is, that was the enlisted club. And Chow Hall has gone to Stone Brewing Company. So that's what we do at Liberty Station, and that's what we talked about last time at this meeting. I don't think that's been reflected in the letter there. So that's what I would have to say, and happy to answer any questions if you have.
I have a question.
Yes, George.
You know, do you have any respect for the Navy people who prayed there and gave their lives during World War II? And it's still being used as a chapel, as I understand.
Yeah, there are two congregations. I'm a representative from one of them, so I have a question about that too afterwards.
And I'm also a representative from the other congregation, I believe. So.
Well, welcome. You know, I felt that I didn't want to address the religious aspect of the use from a community standpoint.
One of the things I think is that, and maybe I misunderstood it, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm fine to be corrected, is that one of the agreements that was made originally, maybe it was in the precise plan or not, was that both of the chapels were supposed to be available for the use of the community at little or no fee. And so with that, I understand the other chapel was torn down, and my concern is that this chapel will be destroyed and just within, and then have it later be like, oops, sorry, guess that wasn't what we were supposed to do, but it's done. So I want to make sure that we know what in the precise plan is supposed to be done, because if it were to remain the one building to remain in use the way that it was when the sailors were here, I think that it would be a good thing for San Diego, not just San Diego, but the entire world, because the 1,500 people who have signed the petition are from all over the world, and many, many, many still in San Diego, of course. But the fact that we had all these sailors come through, people being married there, my father even being funeral there, it's the community. It's not just the religious aspect of it. It is a church, so there is going to be a little religion involved. Non-denominational, fine. Sure, it's the Catholics using it right now, but we've had it's open to anyone to use. We've had a gay men's choir use it. We've had it's a community use thing. So I don't think it hurts to even involve the fact that some of the community is religious.
Yes, no, I agree that part of it would be a religious use, but the other part is open to the community for,
Absolutely.
functions. And you kind of said quite a bit too, Daryl, is that it needs to be an open facility. And I think the goal here is that we allow McMillin to go through that process and see if there's a use that somebody steps forward and provides both of those uses within one use, right? So we can continually use it for the community and use it for their private use, because their precise plan does allow for uses. It has been defined as a commercial use designation. So there is some flexibility in the strict requirement that it has to be a church. I mean, it's not that strict. What I meant was that there is some flexibility within that definition, right? And us as a community, all we can do, there is no project that is sitting out there that we're reviewing today. We're just talking conceptually, right? And the intent of the letter was to put the city on notification and let the planning board be on notification that, hey, look, there may be something that is coming forward to be used in that chapel. However, until that time, we can't, there's nothing we can really say. I can't say, no, you can't do this, because he's not proposing to do that. But we're just asking for something to go in writing that says, hey, look, if they come up with something that's completely different, we want to see it as a community. We feel it's important for us to get the opportunity to review it as a community, because we approved it back in 2001 with stipulations of this, or with the idea that these things would happen in the building. So it's kind of it's a cart before the horse, but it was asked upon us to look at this to see what we could do as a community group and put the city on some sort of notification, or put ourselves on notification, and assist the community in kind of, delegate or working out what's the correct use, Yes. Ron, you're gonna have to keep it real short here. It's gonna be anything.
No,
All right.
All right. I was the one who brought this issue to the board, and greatly appreciate having table up again. In the precise plan which we heard, it does speak about the buildings that were designated as historic. There were 52 of them, and they specifically stated that there were 9 buildings that had a specific historic relevance because of what's happened in the interior. And that's important. And the precise plan also said that we'll be using the guidelines from the U.S. Secretary of the Interior. The reason they're saying that is because it's on the National Historic Registry, which means that it is guided by the guidelines for preservation of historic sites. It comes from the Secretary of the Interior, U.S. Secretary of the Interior. And they, unlike California or locally, speak strongly about what happens to the interior. And on their website, 36 CFR 67, it says, a property shall be used for its historic purpose or to be placed in a new use that requires minimal change to defining characteristics, the removal of historic materials or alteration of features and spaces that characterize a property shall be avoided. So I'm not even speaking about whether it's going to be a Catholic church or some rabbi that was there many times. My tribe was raised there, but any alteration to the interior, meaning taking out the pews, taking out the altar, any of that is under the guidelines of the U.S. Secretary of the Interior. So I really, I would certainly commend you in bringing
to say something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm representing, like I said before, I was representing the second parish. We've been there since 2011, every Sunday. Okay. And I've enjoyed the pleasure of working with McMillin under contracts, and then to go through and worship. And my colleague, she's correct, there's a lot of worship services that have been there, especially during the wars. A lot of soldiers, sailors, Marines have gone through and died for our country. In particular, many of the sailors that have died for our country went through those doors before they headed out to sea and gave their lives. And unfortunately, many of them didn't, but they did come home. Some of them came home, injured. What I'd like to go through, I'd like to basically say is, first of all, we really appreciate having been there for the last 7 years using the facility. And we'd like to continue to be able to go through there and use the facility until we can go through and build up enough money out of our building fund in order to go through and purchase our home. As you know, here in San Diego, property is pretty expensive, and it's just not residential property, it's also church property. So I appreciate the city going through, or planning board going through and being concerned about what's happening. My basic concern is to ensure that McMillin comes out forthright and explains precisely what the changes are that they are proposing to go through and make the building before any decisions really are made. Okay. I think that's only fair to the community, and then let the community then go through and determine, okay, are they for or are they against? It's probably basically my advice.
That would be the perfect world if we had the opportunity to do that. I have to say so. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I ask one more question about
Yeah.
the lawfulness of the use for the community? We're not allowed to rent it after June 30th, I guess indefinitely. Is the community allowed to use the chapel still? Is that within the precise plan to close it for a time from being used?
Don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
Do you have the language of this precise plan?
No. Yeah, no, I don't have the language in the precise plan.
Do you know the other church that was demolished?
Yeah.
That relating to the said some other chapel that was demolished on the.
There's another one they were gonna use as a meeting room, the other one. And McMillin has used this argument that they were not getting enough money from it, but what was pointed out, if you look through the records, they were charging so much to rent the place. I think it was like several $1,000s for an event there. And the whole thing was, they lowered the price of what they were charging in there, they would have had a lot more use of the building.
Yeah.
And putting a restaurant in there certainly is an improper use of the building, as it was conceived.
Yeah, but the precise plan didn't dictate how much they could charge for rent, right? So that is it's something that we have no control.
I think the KPVS interview said it was to be available for little to no fee.
That's not accurate.
Okay.
There's a building at Liberty Station, it's building 623, it's 33,000 square feet, built in 1992. It was at the time, the modern religious services building for the, before they slated it, the days for closure the next year. But that's the building you're referring to,
That's
is
the one.
the building
Okay.
on the south end of Liberty Station.
That was the one that was torn down, right? All right.
The large building.
Yes, that, Point Loma Nazarene has their nursing school and they do events in there. And that's, I believe, it sounds like the same language that she's referring to.
So the building hasn't been demolished, it's just been
Repurpose.
And some people forget too, that McMillin got that entire property down there for zero, didn't pay a nickel for it,
Well, I understand that.
you know.
All right, well, let's say.
This is just advisory.
Yeah, and this is advisory, and if we can choose to forward this to the planning board, for their review, right now, or we can sit on it for another month if we choose to do that, but I think we need to make some movement and move to the next agenda.
That's the evidence with which
There is none.
there's no evidence.
No.
Okay.
No, only that we've been doing this for a couple months now, so.
It's a draft letter for the board to guide by, it's not really even our letter, it's just a start.
Alright, Brad made a motion to forward it, Joe seconded it, all in favor? 2, 3, 4, alright, so we'll forward this and we'll have this a little more discussion. Be sure to come to the Thursday meeting next week. Joe, if you've got anything that you may want to tweak the letter, if you've got some language, a sentence or something that you see that may help you feel better, pass it by me. I won't put it in the letter, but it's something that we could suggest in that meeting if there's something there. I want to make, keep it an open conversation for everybody so we can get to a point where everybody feels, okay, we've got an understanding, okay? So I appreciate everybody coming out and doing this. It's kind of interesting, the historic aspects of.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just beautiful.
We should go meet there. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.